to roll?
Sure.
All right. Well, hey, welcome everybody. Everybody starts out muted. Welcome, welcome. We're excited to get back to what we do here. So really happy to see you all tonight. I'll keep watching those that are still trying to get on. And Art's coming live from the Kent house. Got the crew in the back. Hey, everybody.
No, we got a wave.
We can't see everybody, but we can see Kyle.
We got a little commotion going on outside. So we're trying to get everything buttoned up. Oh.
All right. All right. Well, I don't have any other announcements other than that. So I think we're good to roll. Art, are you ready?
You don't got any announcements?
Well, I'm going to leave it to you.
Okay, Wolfie.
I'm going to give you the floor.
Let's get Wolfie in. Woof.
Wolfie, come.
All right. I also wanted to be able to, how do I do speaker view but see everyone? And it's not,
You can't.
it's not getting me.
You can't. You'll have to do gallery view to see everybody. And I'll put you on spotlight.
Can you do that?
Yeah.
That's better. Now I can see. Well, I want to make sure that we shut the door.
Yep.
And Travis, you can't ever sit still. No. I want to make sure that we get anybody that's new on there tonight to introduce themselves and make sure everybody gets that kind of attention. We got a TV on back there or something, guys? Sorry, guys. We've had all day and 7 o'clock snuck up on us. So
We're out of practice. It's been, we've had a little break and we're a little out of practice.
let me see this lighting too. Is that better?
Oh, that's darker.
No, it's darker. That's better.
That's
right
good.
there.
It's actually good. The delay's good because people are still rolling in. So we're,
Let's do that. We're just relaxing over here. Got leftovers for dinner. So I think that there's a lot of talk about the way that Battlefield would help people, and this word that I've been hearing a lot, and I never really gave much thing to it, but this word curriculum that everybody keeps talking about, it's kind of like a mysterious thing that Battlefield has a curriculum. And then, you know, throughout this whole process that we've been going through and everything that's been happening, there's been a discussion about the curriculum. And one of the things that I'm proud of most is that people are taking to it, and no matter what they've said about me or what they've said about what's been going on, people have honored that there is something here. And so I just want to talk about that tonight, about the way that Battlefield would help people and this thing called our curriculum and where that came about. And one of the things that I've been hearing a lot, and I don't really like to refer to all this stuff, but it's relevant information. And one of the things that people have been discussing is whether or not a human being lives the curriculum, and whether I live the curriculum, or whether whoever is living the curriculum. And I think that the curriculum is life, and we're always living it. And one of the things about living the curriculum is that I had to live it or I couldn't teach it. And so very difficult if any of you would think that you could, you know, anything that any of you would want to teach tonight, whether it's recovery or working on a car or housework or your job or finances or economics or whatever you would want to teach. Just imagine trying to teach something without living it. Just imagine, just start teaching. And then imagine that maybe you wanted to start teaching, but you didn't live it. So you just started saying shit. And you didn't really know what you were doing, but you just started teaching, and then you weren't living it, and you just read about it or something, and then you just started. Just imagine a world that would exist, is what I'm trying to say. So in order for me to do what I've done for the years of this Battlefield curriculum, it's been my life. And yes, it came from books. We learned a lot from books, but those books were just combined into and related to addiction and helping families. And we didn't read books on addiction to get this curriculum. We got it from other books. And those books that we read by Alan Watts or Warner Earhart or Eckhart Tolle or Michael Singer, they had to be applied. And the application became the curriculum. How you apply those books on suffering and spirituality, how you apply that became the curriculum for Battlefield. And in order to apply it, we had to live it. So in order for me to teach what I teach, obviously that's what I did. And so words like authenticity and integrity, well, the first thing is that we never said that we're authentic and you're not. And I never said I'm authentic and then you should be more like me. What the term that it came about, whenever we use the word authenticity, it came from the Landmark Forum, which is what they open up the forum with is they say, we're going to get authentic about our inauthenticity. So that was what we started to do, was to get authentic about how we're inauthentic. And as we applied this to addiction, what it came about was, if you're going to be able to help another human being, you better, and the word being authentic about our inauthenticity, that has to do with humility. It's to be called out and to say, yes, I was up to something. And so to be authentic about our inauthenticity is the admittance that we are all fraudulent. It's the admittance that we maybe don't care about people the way we come on to, that we don't love and we're not willing to be loved the way that we say. And so to be authentic about our inauthenticity is just an opening. It's the start. And it's the start of a lifetime of work. And it never gets perfected, and you do it your whole life. And it's having the humility to be called out on things and then acknowledge it. And I think we have that. So the next thing that we hear is integrity. Now, the discussion about integrity, and this was never a moral discussion when we speak of integrity. When we speak of integrity, it has nothing to do with morals or values or standards or a way of living or even honesty, really. What integrity has to do with is actually the restoration of integrity. So what happens when we, as human beings, lose our integrity is that we talk about people or we get dominated by a relationship. And when we get dominated by a relationship, like the relationship with an addict, and then when you leave that interaction with the addict, what you do is you go and you complain to somebody about your addict and you say mean things. And you accuse them and you vent. And when we do that venting process and we say mean things and we do things like that, we lose our integrity because it looks two-faced to the other human being. And it looks like we're actually two-faced and we're actually not honoring the other human being. But what we're doing is we're venting out our negative energy. So when we were in that room and we were speaking about integrity, we were speaking about losing it and gaining it. So we were talking about gain and loss, not I have integrity and you all should be more like me. It's I lose it and gain it. And I'm willing to acknowledge when I vented about you and said mean things about whether it's my loved one, whether it's, I'm willing to acknowledge when I'm a different person around other people than I am around you. So integrity was only spoken of in terms of like a wheel that has spokes. And when those spokes get knocked out, the wheel don't roll right. And so what you do is you replace the spokes. It has nothing to do with morals or values or anything like that. You just replace the spokes. So that was another word that came up. And I've lived the restoration of my integrity hundreds, if not thousands of times with human beings on a daily basis. And I have lived being authentic about my own inauthenticities, or I wouldn't know how to discuss this topic. So the curriculum came about because the truth is that we are all too scared as human beings to find love and be loved. To love and be loved, we're filled with too much fear and insecurities to do that. And I didn't know what I was doing when I started this out. It was a process of me figuring out how to find and be loved and love other people. And that's what we're doing here. We're not doing anything else. You know, they say that this whole idea that addiction is cured by love, I believe it to be absolutely true. But I also believe that people just have no clue, or people are up to something and have no idea the amount of fear and the amount of insecurities we have that are blocking our ability to love people and to be loved. And so the discussion moves forward about how to get rid of our insecurities, and when we're insecure, how we lose our integrity, and when we're insecure, how we get inauthentic to protect ourselves, and how we become a different person when we're scared, and how we're not lovable when we're scared. And when we're not lovable and when we're scared, we get defensive and we get argumentative and we criticize people and we get mean. And that's all out of this stuff that we have in us called insecurities and fears. So again, the discussion moves forward on these topics. So every week when we get in this room, if you're new, what we talk about is insecurities and fears. What we talk about is our own fraudulence and the cover up of those insecurities and fears. When we get inauthentic, what we're doing is we're covering up that we're scared. We're covering up that we're insecure. We're saying, no, it's not, we're insecure. We're not scared. I don't like that. And so tonight we can continue this conversation, and you can ask questions about whether, but this crazy notion that this is something like to put our curriculum as a standard. To say that if you're living the curriculum, then you're here and you're living this standard, and then everybody else that's not living that standard isn't living the curriculum. On some level, every day we talk about insecurities and fears. If you're scared today and you're insecure, well, you're living the curriculum. If you really went and talked about your boss negatively or your customers negatively, and then you went to them and said, "Hi, sir," and you talked kindly to him, well, then you've lost your integrity. And if you've went to your mom and said, "Hi, Mom, I love you," and then went and complained about your mother, you've lost your integrity. And if you've said to your sister at the dinner party that you love her and then went and got in the car and talked shit, you've lost your integrity. So if anybody here hasn't lost their integrity today, then let me know, and you can teach and tell me how to do it. Because I did all day, every day. And the idea that I haven't been authentic, well, I've been as best as I can do. To actually, I said to somebody today, can you imagine a world where I wasn't at home joking about all of you? Can you imagine a world where I was just at home being, saying only nice things? I can't. I can't imagine that world because I don't do that at the group. I say vulgar things. I say mean things, maybe not being to be mean, but I say joking things. I make fun, and I do that all day, every day. That's how I live. And I don't know another way to live, and I don't know a way to change that. And so, here we are, and I can also boil this down to my journey. And I can tell you that when this all started, I was unlovable. And I can tell you that I was an addict and I was unlovable and people didn't love me. They either feared me, they needed something from me, they governed me, they told me that I should change, they listened to me, they endured me, they put up with me, but they didn't love me. And the reason they didn't love me is because I was unlovable. And the reason that I was unlovable was because I was scared. And I was insecure. And as I've worked this process of becoming lovable, which is to get rid of my insecurities and fears, I might now, after 9.5 years, be able to be loved by a few. And I might be able to give love to a few. And it ain't easy because everybody scares me and I'm insecure. And that's, if you can admit that, well, then you might be getting somewhere about the business of getting authentic about your own inauthenticities. And if tonight you can't admit that you're scared and insecure about people, that you don't trust people, that you aren't able to love because you always need to protect yourself. And if you can begin to do that work, well, then that's the curriculum. That's what we're doing, is we're holding ourselves accountable to being unlovable and not being able to love, and not just saying that we love because we're obliged, and not just saying that. I'm talking about, when I say being loved and love, I'm saying the experience of love. I'm not saying the obligation. I'm not saying the business. I'm not saying the day-to-day chore of what I would have to do if I loved somebody. I'm talking about experiencing love, like the love that you experience when you watch a movie, or when you read something, or when you listen to a song. I'm talking about that with human beings. And I can tell you, I lived 44, 45, 46 years without experiencing that, truthfully. And at the last year or two of my life, after 9.5 years of this work, I'm finally getting to the point where I experience love with human beings on a daily basis. And when I say love with people on a daily basis, I'm talking about no judgment of them. I'm talking about not telling them they need to be better for me to love them. I'm talking about really being there and loving them, even when they're in difficulty, even when they're doing something that I wouldn't necessarily approve of. And I'll tell you, it's the most difficult work of my life, and I couldn't teach it if I didn't do it. And to actually get to a point in my life where I do experience love on a daily basis, and then to understand that I haven't for 47 years because I was too scared, it's big news for me. And it's gotten me to a place where I care less and less about the nonsense outside of love. I don't see the value in it. And so I see the value in, and I see all the other stuff, protecting yourself and money and fighting for things. And I see all that as nonsense, and television and all of it. And so the curriculum of Battlefield, I hope that you understand that to help somebody with their addiction, it's love, but be careful, because if it's just your love and you feel that deep love, that won't do anything for the addict. That will only initiate the work, but the addict is going to have to do the work to become lovable. They're going to have to get rid of their insecurities or fears, or they're going to be too busy protecting themselves to even feel your love. So it's just the initiation of the work here. And that's all we're doing. We're initiating a lifetime of work. It's a spark. It ain't the whole thing. You don't come here and then we say, you got to be here, and then the work's done in a couple weeks. It's not. It's here to come, and maybe we spark you, and maybe we put you on a path, and maybe you go on this path, and maybe you figured out, as I did, I didn't know what all this was about. I thought it was about power. I thought it was about money. I thought it was about friends. I thought it was about self-expression. I thought it was about business. I thought it was about helping others. But when I boiled all this down and I figured out what it was always been about, it was about me being loved and me wanting people to love me. And if you can look and be honest with what you do in your daily life, I'm suggesting to each one of you tonight that what you do, everything that you do, is about being loved. Everything. Everything we do as human beings is an act saying, love me. And if you can take the blinders off and see that it ain't about your money, it ain't about this, even people that are hating people tonight, even people posting hateful things, they want to be loved. And they want somebody else that's hating to join them and love them in their hate. And so everybody, and if anybody has anything on here to say to me, then that's controversial or anything, that's fine. And maybe you want to find the other people that have that thing to say to me and join and then love each other. And I don't know, but that's what this is all about. Everything. Go to work, please your boss. You want to be loved. Buy a new car. You want to be loved. Help somebody. You want to be loved. Build a business. You want people to love you that love your business. Cook a meal. You want to be loved. See, I can admit that. I can admit that everything I've ever done whether it was to help people, do what I've ever done, everything was about me being loved and me giving love. And I never knew that before, but I can tell you it's true. And I can tell you the other stuff is nonsense. Power, influence, status, nonsense without love. Nonsense with love. So I want to be authentic about my inauthenticity. The inauthenticity was that I was doing anything other than trying to be loved and trying to con you all and say that I'm getting up on here and I'm talking because here's what I'm saying. I want you to love me. That's it. Now, if that's fake, I don't know what else to say, but I can't say it any clearer. And I hope that maybe you can get to your point in your life where you can just tell your family members that you want them to love you. That you can stop with the nonsense and you can just start telling people that you want to be loved. And you can just say it. And you can just go to your boss and say, I don't want to talk about emails and I don't want to talk about this. I want to come to work and I want to be loved. And I want to go home to my family and I want to be loved. And we can stop talking about money and cars and things and status and importance and hatred. We can stop all that. And we can just say, I want to be loved. Because battlefield addiction, the answer is love. Guess what we're going to talk about from here on out? Guess what's important? Now, you'll read any book and they'll tell you that love is the answer to addiction. But don't do that. Go listen and get something else. And go try something else. And I tried everything else, but the real answer was love. And the real answer of why I did drugs, because I wanted to be loved. I wanted to feel safe. I wanted to feel like people liked me. And drugs gave me a synthetic experience of that. The closest thing I ever found to love in 47 years was a shot of heroin. And I don't need that anymore, but I'll tell you what. It worked in a pinch. And it really led to something destructive. But anybody sitting in this room, anybody on here that's ever took drugs or felt the euphoria, you felt love. And that's addicting. And it causes destruction. So now we have to figure out a way to get that same experience without drugs. And I'm telling you, you won't get it without love. You will buy things. You will gather people. You will try to create a big life. You will try to get known. You will try to get status. You will try to get famous. You will try to be important. You will try to please your boss. You will try to please your husband. You will try to please your family. You'll try to cook a meal. You'll try to make everyone happy. You'll try to serve your mother when she's dying. You'll try to serve your father when she's dying. And in every act, my argument, what I'm telling you're saying is love me. And that's what we're doing here. And so for us, for me, it's very tough too, because it's very tough to see how this adds up. That if I could sit here and take responsibility for my insecurities and fears for a period of time and not be upset with the world, but every time the world upset me, actually, then when the world upsets me, I blame that I'm scared. I blame that I'm insecure. And doing that process over a period of time, I will guarantee you will eliminate a lot of your insecurities and fears. When that happens, you will be lovable. You will feel love again. But right now, we cannot feel love with a stomach and a heart full of insecurities and fears. You have to feel safe. You have to feel okay to experience love. So the curriculum is just simple. When your fears and insecurities meet the world, sit there with it. Learn how to get rid of them. Because if you don't get rid of them, you won't be able to love, and you won't be able to experience love, and you won't be able to experience being loved. And you will be addicted to whatever it is that you're addicted to. Gambling, food, shopping, gardening, working, drugs, sex, porn, whatever it is. Because nothing replaces the true experience of love. Actually feeling it on a daily basis so that your eyes tear up when you look at people. And when you speak to people, you're in tears. Not because you're a victim, not because of anything else, but other than you're just amazed at the beauty that the world is. So that's what we're working here. If you have, if you don't think I'm living it, and you don't, please understand, if that's what you need to do to convince yourself that whatever. But it ain't true, because here I sit today and I experienced love. And I experienced it yesterday, and I experienced it the day before, and I experience on a daily basis. And I know the difference between experiencing love and saying and telling people I love them when I don't. But see, it started out with the work. It started out with being authentic about our own inauthenticity. It starts out with saying, you know what? To be honest, if you can be honest on here and say, you know what? I haven't had the experience of love with a human being in years. I had to say that first. I had to say that about my mother. I had to say that about my sisters. I had to say it about anyone, that I haven't had that experience. In order to get the experience of love, you have to admit that you don't have it. You have to admit how scared you are. You have to admit that around your family members, all you have in your head is a mind full of judgment. That around everyone around you, you have a mind full of judgment and a heart that's protected. And if you can admit that, you might be able to love. You might be able to experience it. For me, that was the start. So here we are to help some people. And you can ask any questions you want, and you can say whatever, and we can talk. But we're here to help people, and I only know how to help them like this. So if you're new, I'd like we could get them to introduce themselves and say why you're here and whatever. We'll take any other questions that you have. But for me, I don't need that. All I need is to know that I experienced love today. And amongst all the fear, you can get a little bit of taste of love throughout the day. And then you look to increase it. That's the work. And I hope we can spark it here for you. And I hope that we can set you off on a lifetime. And there's way more teachers that taught me how to love and taught me how to experience it. And I just did the application. And without the application, I couldn't talk to you and teach today. It would just be something I'm saying. But the application is what makes me tell you the truth. And what makes the people around me know that I've changed, that I've done this. So, and you can see if they have questions.
Okay. I only see a couple new people, but the way it works is if you have a comment, question, anything, you can use the raise your hand feature on your screen. And sometimes people can't quite figure that out. And so you can just get my attention. You can unmute yourself. I do see a couple new people out there. I don't know if they have their cameras on, so I'll be watching, and we would love to meet you guys. So who's first? I'm gonna find actually Amanda Brown. Can I put you on the spot? I see your face. Have we met you? Hi.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, where are you from?
Arlington, Washington. Yes.
How'd you hear about us?
Actually, I heard through a friend a while back, and then actually my doctor recently told me about you guys. I looked you up online a few times. Here just to kind of see what you guys are about. I got my son struggling with addiction right now, and so just trying to kind of get some support and see what it's about.
Great. Well, welcome. You came to the right place. What
Great.
we're about love.
Absolutely. I got that.
Yeah, it's a powerful message.
Absolutely.
So Amanda, I would love you to reach out tomorrow. Give me a call. I'd love to get you on the calendar. what we do and how we work with families is where it starts, as a consultation. And the
Okay.
consultation is for mom and dad. And that's when you come and see us. We can do it via Zoom if COVID is an issue for you. But we've been able to open up now and meet with families live, which we really prefer. Works out
Okay.
better that way. So, but yeah, I would love to chat and get you on the calendar so we can set up a time to meet and
Great.
start the process.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Awesome. Thanks
Thank
for
you.
being willing to share.
Yeah, thank you.
All right.
I want to go ahead. There's not a question. Just let me know.
Yeah, there's not a question. There's another new person I'll call on when you're done.
I want to be very clear with people that this is such a double-sided street, that this game of love and be loved and feel and experience love and the elimination of judgment in our relationships and with people. And I want you to know that there's accountability on both sides, and that if you're trying to love your addict and you do experience some sort of unconditional love and it's not working. Well, it's not working because there has to be both sides doing the work. In order to experience people loving us, we also have to be learning how to love ourselves. And I see a lot of addicts expect unconditional love from people. There's an expectation that now, with all the teachings and everything going on, that an addict could use drugs and alcohol, damage everyone and scare everyone around them, and hurt things, and then want unconditional love. It's outrageous request. In order to receive love, you have to be able to give it and experience it. In order to give it and experience it, you have to be able to get rid of your own insecurities and fears. And so this outrageous idea that unconditional love upon an addict would work is crazy. In actuality, when an addict begins to feel all the love leaving and there's a chance that nobody will love them, seems to be a better motivator for one to get into treatment. So this idea that we can unconditionally love somebody who's destructing their life is insane. And I think that, and the expectation that we could behave massively poorly and do damage and then receive unconditional love is crazy. And I think people need to understand that. And this is just supposed to spark this initial movement towards both sides of the street working on eliminating their insecurities. And with both sides of the street doing this work, what eventually will end up happening is with the resolution of insecurities and fears, love can possibly shine in. And both sides can quit protecting themselves and begin to actually connect again. So I want to make it really clear that there is no way to receive unconditional love or have that expectation while we're in destruction mode.
Celeste. Oh,
Go ahead.
so hi, Celeste.
Hi,
Welcome.
thank you.
How'd
Thank
you hear about us? Where are you from?
I'm from Everett, Mill Creek area, and Rachel Wade, Benjamin Wade, whatever's up on here. She's
Great.
yeah,
We don't
she's
know her as Benjamin.
yeah, she's my very, very, very good friend. So she, after some recent trauma I've been through with broke up with an addict after 3 years, didn't even realize that he was an addict, never been with an addict before. Then also found out that he has narcissistic personality disorder and borderline personality disorder. And so I'm just looking forward to rebuild my entire self. I'm broken.
Beautiful.
Well, welcome, Celeste. That's 2 North Enders.
Yeah.
We're building the North Ends.
Hey, Celeste. Go back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you, what did you mean you recently found out he was, how did you not know he was an addict?
Oh, I thought he was recovering, and
You didn't know he was using?
no, I had no idea. I literally caught him in the middle of the night with a needle in his arm and booted him out the next day. But I'd been really sick in the hospital and been finding medications missing. And I knew he was supposedly he was a recovering addict. And I had my suspicions, but every time I pointed it out, he just told me I was crazy, or I must have lost my medication, or money's missing. I just like, I don't know. And then my brain just started making excuses for him, going, maybe, maybe. And then no, it had to be literally shoved right in my face. And I was warned by people around me that could see it. And Rachel, but I couldn't see it.
Well, one thing that we're going to need to do is, toughen you up a bit.
Yeah.
So we're not going to be gentle, but if you want to get help by us, it's about what would end up happening when we get in this drama triangle of a relationship, when we have like victim identities and hero identities, and one's the savior and one's the victim, and that kind of off-balance relationship that begins to occur between people, and how the power struggle begins when one person's sick and one person's healthy, and then one person gets healthy and one person's sick. And so we have to work through all that, but we would love to help you. So I encourage you to reach out to Angie, get in for a consult.
Sure. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Thanks, Celeste. And anybody can get my phone number off of our website or our Facebook page. So, all right, Angela Badalucco. Can you unmute?
I think I got it.
Hey.
I get it. Yeah. This is a question back to Art on, and you've probably covered this before, but something I still struggle with. When you talk about sitting with our insecurities and fears and just feeling them,
Mm-hmm.
I still struggle with that. I don't know what I'm doing wrong with that. I mean, I sit there and I face my insecurities and fears, but
Okay. Now first, Angela, let me say how they show up. When you feel insecurities and fears, what it'll feel like is resistance. So just like right now, there's no resistance. You feel it in your body?
Yeah.
You see how your body's at ease and there's no resistance?
Right.
Okay. Now, when an insecurity and fear shows up, it's not going to show up in the mind, it's going to show up in the body. So we first have to feel the tension and the resistance in our body when words are being said, or when we're under some kind of, we feel a certain way. So we go from this accepting, calm way of being to tense and kind of protective way of being. So the first thing is to see that insecurities and fears don't show up in the mind, they show up in the body. And so when somebody's yelling at us, we miss what's going on in our bodies. We miss our blood pressure going faster. We miss our muscles tensing up, and we go right to the mind and we begin to try to stop and neutralize the threat. So what we're saying by sitting with our insecurities and fears is two things. The first thing is be accountable. So if you're upset on this planet, it'll be because your body felt resistance and then your mind didn't like it, so it started blaming the world. And so reality is you just be with that resistance. And if you can be with the resistance and stay out of the mind and get through the resistance, you can do an investigation. Why did that resistance just show up? And I'm going to tell you, for the most part, it's going to be about what other people think, how I look in the world. So our insecurities and fears are mainly just about how we look in the world. Or possibly sometimes there's a threat to our money or our safety or our health. But for the most part, What upsets us is something in the nature of how I look in the world, and I don't like it. So there'll be resistance, then there'll be the mind, and the mind will say, stop doing that, you're making me upset. And then it'll blame, and then it'll say, I'm upset because I don't like what you're doing. Now, I'm going to tell you to go all the way back to just feeling the resistance. Right when you feel the resistance, there it is. But you got to spot it right when you feel it. There's the resistance. There's what he's talking about. I feel it. Now, what am I scared for? Why am I scared? You see?
Mhm.
And it becomes accountable, and it becomes responsible, and it has ownership to it. And now the world can't upset you, but your insecurities surely can. You see? And so we stop blaming the world and we start owning what we're scared of. We cannot be upset on this planet without being scared. Impossible. So therefore, I'm scared. I'm not upset. Therefore, I look into why I'm scared. And I've done the investigation time and time and time and time again. And it always boils down to one thing. I'm not looking good here. I'm getting conned here. I'm getting shorted. It's always that. Or I'm scared that there's a real attack and I might be getting harmed. You see, if somebody breaks into your house right now and they have a pistol or a knife, there's going to be resistance in your body. Your blood pressure is going to start pounding. Adrenaline's going to go through your muscles and through your veins or whatever it goes through.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, whatever it goes through.
Isn't that right?
So it'll go through there first. See, I'm just really, really interested in that experience. I got real interested in the experience of blood pressure. I did. And so I would just sit with it. And so somebody could be yelling at me, but I'm just thinking about my blood pressure. And I liked it. And it was responsible because I didn't yell back. I just thought about my blood pressure. But when I lose track of my blood pressure, I yell back. I do that too.
Yeah.
So I do both. I work on it, and then sometimes I forget to work on it, and I yell at people. Yeah. See? So your anticipation, and I want you to look forward to resistance in your body and find it. Just wait for it. When it shows up, say, there it is. That's enough of the work. There it is. There is a resistance. By the way, everything done after we experience that resistance will be a mistake. After we experience that resistance and we begin to do actions, they will always be a mistake that you will regret. You will yell, you will criticize, you will blame, you will defend yourself, you will justify. So we wait for the resistance to go away and we get a little calmness, and then we're able to act properly and be lovable. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Angela. All right, who's next? This is a great conversation. This is open for anybody.
We don't have to stay on topic. You can have if you need an immediate issue and you have something you need help with tonight, we're here to help.
Julie Molden is here for her first solution group. Hi, Julie. We got to meet Julie last week for a consultation. You want to say hi, Julie? Hey, can we hear you? Oh, we can't hear you. You're unmuted.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, hey.
Hey, I think I'm not sure how to turn the video back, or just where you can see me, so.
You're good. Welcome to your first solution group.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, so we met Julie last week for a consultation, and glad you're here.
Thank you. And I highly, highly recommend the consultation. It was an eye-opener.
Thank you. Yeah. That's the starting point. So all you new people, again, reach out. You can get my number on the website, get a consultation booked. And that's where we start from with a family. All right. Who's next? Is Teresa, are you waving? Teresa and Andy, were you waving? No? Oh, okay. All right. Who's next, guys?
If we
Andy.
don't,
What's that?
if we don't have questions, it's fine. I mean,
This
tonight
is
is
a topic. It feels
night.
good. It feels really good just to sit with what you've said. It was clear.
I usually have better jokes than this, so if you haven't, Travis is behind me. He's itching to tell a joke,
Yeah.
and a story. We also have,
Listen, Emily could.
Emily and Woofy. They're here. We're all real calm tonight. It's a real good energy. Yeah, it's a really good energy. We're just calm, and everybody's kind of just working on a little early cover. One thing that I've noticed is that one of the problems that we come up with here as we have an ongoing conversation, and that we've had a lot of people around for a long time, and one thing that we could do better as an organization, and we might, and what I'm trying to do better as a teacher, is reach back and be more simplistic with the message, so that we reach people that are just starting out. Yeah. And I think our message sometimes has been so ongoing for so many years that if you haven't followed it, it's like probably trying to tune into like Game of Thrones in episode or season 8 or something, rather than, I don't watch Game of Thrones, I'm just making that shit up, but it's a terrible show. No, it's not. I don't have an opinion on Game of Thrones. So
Watched every episode twice.
no, you have?
Yes.
Yes, I know. I don't know where they find the time. I guess when you work with art, you'll have a lot of time to watch it. Yeah. Not only do they watch it once, she's seen it all twice. So that really tells me she had time on her hands. But yeah, I mean, and so we have new people here, and it's very difficult. And we're sitting around in a group, and it's hard to go back there and pull that person up and just start them out. But going back to what we are doing here, again, the same message kind of reigns true. There's two things that one thing that, there's a lot of things that we're doing. We're looking at our insecurities and how they meet the world, but then we're also following the whole track. So what happens when we don't do that? And a lot of the work here is what we say from this beautiful starting position, that if you can wake up tonight and what you can do as a human being is you can look from the position of who you are at how you are. And I think that that's beautiful, that if we can get a person to start looking at how they are rather than how the world is, and then who's looking at how you are, and that thing that's looking is who you are. So who you are looking at how you are, it's kind of this experience that we can have as human beings, as we can look at ourselves. And part of the understanding how to get rid of your insecurities and all your fears and to do this work is to understand, to love yourself. It means that you love your experience, all of it. And so that would mean that there's not thoughts that come up for you that you deny. There's not resistance that you resist. There's not anxiety that you resist. There's not worry that you resist. So what it means to start loving ourselves is to stop resisting, to start enjoying our whole experience, and to start seeing these moments where we don't enjoy our experience, and then taking it upon ourselves to say, that's me not loving myself. See, to figure out that to love yourself, you have to see that you're not yourself. To love yourself, you have to see that you're the experiencer of yourself. So as we experience ourselves, we stop resisting ourselves. And what I mean by ourselves is as we experience our thoughts, as we experience our body, as we can experience the way our body looks, as we can experience the way our experience feels, we're not that. We're the thing that experiences it. So if the thing that experiences ourself stops resisting ourself, we would then love ourselves. And any moment throughout the day, when you resist your experience, you're actually resisting yourself and not loving yourself. You see? So if you can really take a look at this thing called insecurities that has you resisting them, that puts resistance into your experience, and you can stop resisting the resistance. And if you stop resisting the resistance, you will learn to love yourself. As soon as you learn to love your experience, you will be lovable. And you won't be in these modes of defense and protection and accusations and claims. And by the way, there's been a lot of my experience lately that I haven't loved. And it's been difficult to love myself through this experience. But when I say love myself, I'm not talking about the way I look. I'm not talking about my status in the world. I'm talking about my experience. So to love myself, for me, it means that I love my experience all day. And that's just what it is, an experience. And I am the thing, not the thing that is causing the experience, but the thing that's witnessing the experience. And so I sit and I witness my experience and I feel it and I try not to resist. And if I can stop resisting the resistance, then I can love myself. And if I can do that, then people can love me. But as soon as I resist the resistance and I start getting angry, or I start getting accusatory or defensive or justify or tell somebody else to change or tell somebody to stop doing what they're doing, I'm unlovable. And people start resisting me. And so, again, we went a long ways there, but.
So Art,
Yeah.
so I have a question. That was actually the first time I've heard that distinction. You said what you mean by loving yourself is not loving the way you look and all that. It's loving your experience.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. If you didn't love your experience all day today, every minute of it, then I argue, and in my opinion, that you didn't love yourself. And if you can understand that you're not yourself, that you're this thing in here that's always been experiencing yourself. You've been experiencing yourself since you can remember. So if you felt that when you were 5, that you loved yourself when you were 5, it was just because you loved the experience of being 5. And probably nobody teased you or nobody did anything. And then if you go, well, I didn't love high school. Well, that was probably because somebody teased you and you didn't love that experience, whatever it was. But generally, it's just this moment-to-moment meeting with the current way it is. And to love yourself would just mean that you loved it all day. And there's no resistance. And so we're constantly experiencing ourselves. We're not causing ourselves. We're not the cause of ourselves. We're not causing thoughts, they're happening. We're not causing when we get hungry, it just happens. We're not causing our blood to pump, it just happens. We're not causing our thoughts. They're just happening. And we're experiencing them. And we're not causing our feelings. Find a way to cause how you feel. You can't. So we're not causing our feelings, they're just feelings. So if you love those feelings then and stop resisting them, then you love yourself. But we're not the cause, we're the thing experiencing. So stop. If you think you're the cause, then you're not going to love yourself because you're causing it. And you're going to say, stop causing it, but you're not going to be able to figure it out. It's just going to keep happening. So whatever feelings that you don't like, why haven't you stopped causing them? And the reason you haven't stopped causing them is because you're not causing them. So you see, you're not the cause. You're the experiencer. And so sit and experience it. And as soon as you start resisting the experience, you don't love yourself because yourself is the cause. Yourself is causing it. It's like your suit. It's like your spacesuit. It's the way it feels. If you put on a spacesuit and then you didn't like how you feel, you wouldn't blame yourself. You wouldn't blame you. You would just be experiencing the spacesuit. That's what we're experiencing. We're just experiencing a human spacesuit. So we're not causing it. We're just experiencing it. And so all you have to do to love yourself is to stop resisting the experience. It's that simple. And then when you begin to resist the experience, don't blame the world. Not easy stuff though. It's a lifetime. It's not like like you're not gonna. I know your mind is telling you to figure this shit out by tomorrow. Get this shit figured out. Well, shit, I'll just start loving myself tomorrow. Then this seems easy. What the fuck have I been doing?
Andy's got a question.
Yeah.
Let's get you unmuted. Can you unmute yourself, Andy?
Yeah, I got it.
Hey.
Hey, how's it going, everybody?
What's up, Andy?
What's going on? Hey, nice beard, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, yeah.
It's for warmth.
I think Kyle needs to change his socks, though. They're looking a little dirty.
Oh!
I'm joking. So when you talk about how we're not the cause of us not feeling loved or things that happen, right?
Mm-hmm.
How does that coincide with our insecurities?
I didn't say that we're not the cause of not being loved.
Okay.
I said we're not the cause of this inner experience.
Okay.
So like if you feel resistance in your body,
Yeah.
you didn't cause that. It just happened, unbeknownst to you, right?
Like, wouldn't that be if you feel that resistance, isn't that part of the insecurity that we're talking about?
That is the insecurity. That is the insecurity. The resistance is the insecurity. But you didn't cause the insecurity. So now you're left with you can let it go to the mind, right? And you can blame somebody else for how you feel, or you can blame the insecurity. So let's say you blame the insecurity. Now you're going, oh, I'm scared. Okay, well now you can stop resisting being scared. You can sit through it. You see? But there's this, when we feel resistance, there's this automatic repellent to get rid of it. We just go right to the source out in the world and try to end it, eliminate it. And that's what we do.
Yeah, you shift it from here to here.
Yes.
Yeah,
And the mind just stop that, neutralize it, get rid of that.
Yeah.
So you're actually doing a redirection. And I don't know if it's you doing it or if this initiation of this conversation would initiate that. See?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, I tend to, when somebody hits an insecurity of mine, I tend to shift it to let's not go there.
Yeah.
And let me get in your insecurities. That's usually what I do.
That's right.
You
That's
know?
right.
Because fuck that,
But it does no good. It just makes you smaller.
Yeah. No, yeah. And yeah. And then it's in your head.
Yes. Yes. Then you remember that.
And then you're walking around with that shit in your head all day.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's exactly right.
Yeah. All right.
It's nice to see you, Andy. It really
You
is,
too.
man. You
too.
look good, man. Nice to see you.
You too.
All right. Call me, man.
Yeah, I will.
All right. All right.
All right.
I owe you some stuff.
Yeah, we need to get you on the calendar, Andy.
Please call me.
All right.
Or you can call me to get on his calendar.
My mom needs to call you too.
Yeah. Have her reach out. Yeah, we're ready. We're ready now. So Teresa and Andy both, we're ready now. We're back rolling. So thank you for such patience. Really appreciate that. And we're ready to roll though. So give me a call. We'll get you on the calendar.
Oh, we will. She's in the other room. She heard it.
Perfect.
You got her socks in those flip-flops?
The Ninja Turtle feet?
Yes. She wears flip-flop with socks. I'll always remember that.
All right.
All right.
All right. I thought I saw somebody's hand up. I don't know who it was. Did somebody change their minds?
I'm really enjoying this initiative.
That was me.
Okay, Celeste, that was you.
Yeah, that was me. I just, I couldn't decide whether to just
Hey, Celeste, is that a furry pillow or what is that behind you?
Oh, I have a ton of furry pillows. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Yeah. I had a question about. So I've studied a lot of DBT, and it's for what you're explaining. I'm trying to integrate into my brain as far as, you know, you experience emotion, you experience your negative emotion, but you also, as far as like mindfulness, turning the mind and practice turning your negative emotion into a positive one.
Yeah.
And it sounded like you're saying you just can't change your emotion. It is what it is. And that's it. And I'm wondering, where does the actual emotional control and emotional intelligence come into play there with your insecurity, with your emotions?
Okay. That's a great question. And we'd have to go way deep into where it is. I've read books on DBT and I understand what a lot of it and everything. This isn't really that. This is a first step almost in the process of, let's just see if you can be the noticer for a while. Let's just see if you can do that. I think that naturally, as you become the experiencer, that's the regulation. It naturally regulates. There's no work to be done. If you can experience and stop resisting, I don't see that. Like, I would say, show me the dial. Like, show me where the control room is to your thoughts. So show me, like, what I want you to do right now is stop thinking. You see? Or think differently. Like, I think I have more control over your thoughts than you do. Like, you just imagine, like, there's Kyle, and just try not to think of him naked back there. You know what I mean? So, and there he is. Now you're thinking of Kyle naked, but you see you see what I'm saying? I mean, the world and the influence and all of it, you just got to locate yourself in here. For me, I just got to this position of a kind of a passenger position more so in my life, that I can truly feel as a passenger in my experience. And I have a hard time finding and that's just later, and we can talk later, but I find it hard to find the control room. I'm just swimming around in here in this experience, and I don't know where to locate the engine room. If I did, I would just change my thoughts. I would just go in there and fix them, And especially with drugs, I would have just said, stop thinking about drugs, and then, man, that would have been great. So yeah, I don't know where the control is. We can talk about that differently, but I'm not a big freedom guy. I think that we're trapped in here. I think that, we just are. We're trapped in here. Try to get out of your experience. I mean, just show me how you get out of your experience, and you'll find it'll be difficult. You see, I want a new experience. I want to get out of mine. Ah, shit. Yeah. So anyways, I like what I get it. Where's the responsibility? How do you do it? Yeah.
Helen,
I don't think I answered anything. Hold on, go back. I don't think I answered anything. I think I probably just fucking, Are you mad at me, Celeste?
No. I just listening to your viewpoint and just trying to understand where you're coming from.
It's just what I've experienced to get rid of this experience. It's not really I generally don't have an opinion on it. And there's other ways to get to the experience that I'm speaking of, and that's probably DBT or mindfulness. Or we started out with mindfulness. That's where it started. I mean, that was where we said we were a mindfulness-based program, and we went there for a couple of years, and then it just graduated to like a couple other things. But yeah, please, I love to work that out. But don't be mad at me. I don't know what
I'm not.
Okay.
I'm just not mad at you.
I don't get mad. I don't get mad. I know.
Well, I'm a poker player, so I like read people, and but I don't know. I need some of them furry pillows. I know that. Thank you.
Awesome.
All right.
Hey, Helen, did you have a question, or your thing got unmuted a couple times? I didn't know if that was on purpose. Let's try to unmute you.
No, I was just trying to play with this and like, I don't know if I'm always muted and I can only see myself and you guys. I can't see anybody else. I'm not quite sure how to do all this.
We heard what you said. We heard what you said.
I said nothing, Art. I'm a bystander right now, just listening.
All right.
I guess I have a question. Is the big house going to be up and functioning again, or is that a thing of the past, or what's the plan for the big house?
I don't know. I don't think you can stop a big house. You know what I mean? You can stop
Yeah.
a lot of things, but it's tough to stop a big house.
I
Yeah, the big house does. The big house has a mind and a life of its own.
believe that.
And when it decides that it wants to open back up, it will.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Anybody that lives there knows that the big house will tell you, if you listen to it, it'll tell you what to do.
Okay.
It'll
So
say, here, you're not ready. You know?
So where, if if young, I know we call them kids. Some are
Yeah.
kids and some are adults, or some are not. But where are these kids, adults going if they are, seeking your help? Where are you housing them, or where are you treating them?
They're actually been sleeping on the floor of my bedroom for the last couple of days. They're crowded.
Okay.
No, I have some beds with me right now. I have an inventory of beds. I have a few, and we have some clients here, and I'm taking people with me right now.
Okay.
And then I have an inventory of beds, and it's just I put them in undisclosed locations and put people watching them, and then that's how it's working right now. But
Okay.
we haven't stopped, is what I'm saying.
Okay.
Just call us, and we will have an answer.
Okay. I just have a friend that, reaches out, and, it's just whether she can reach her son or
Yeah.
not. And then if she, I guess my battery went low.
Oh, wow.
Well, but if she, my battery died. That.
Plug it in.
Have her call us.
Yeah, I will. Well, if she's up to it again, she has, and then she couldn't get hold of her son, and blah blah blah. But if that happens,
Yeah.
we'll reach out.
Okay. Thank
Okay.
you.
Yeah.
We need a consultation. Thanks,
Yeah,
Helen.
my phone keeps dying because I had to watch part of the debate.
Oh.
That was sad and sick. Okay. Rick
Who
says
won?
I'm not supposed to.
Who won?
Rick says I shouldn't talk about that.
Who won?
Oh, I can't tell you. They were both sad.
Okay. All right.
It was very sad.
Yeah.
Okay.
I believe that.
Everybody gets to make up their own
Helen.
mind.
Plug your fucking phone in.
Oh, Rick can't say that out loud. They can hear you. That's Rick asleep in his chair, Art.
All right.
Okay, we're gonna.
Art, I'm not asleep. I'm sitting here listening to Helen bitch about her phone, and I tell her plug the goddamn thing in.
Okay, we're going to mute him now.
Is this the love we're talking about? Is this what we were talking about? Helen, tell him, just love you. Just tell him.
Yeah, I love you, Rick, even though you're half asleep in your chair.
I'm not now.
Okay,
All right.
mute us now.
All right, mute. You're muted. Oh my God.
Beautiful. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, it's nice to be back.
Yes, it is. Oh man. These new people get to see how much fun we have. It's like this every week, guys.
Yeah.
We have a good time here. All right, is there anybody else? We have time for another if there's anything. Otherwise, Art, maybe you could wrap it up and your closing thoughts. Oh, Celeste, go ahead.
I just had a quick question. Is Travis, is your information on the website about because from what I understand, you run a sober living house or something, or you guys have a few
Or
or
we do.
something?
We do.
Yeah,
Yeah, Travis might have his.
I'm gonna get a new house. It's gonna be the biggest house.
Yeah.
It's so big. Triple bunk beds. We're gonna have 15 managers.
Yeah.
Dinner times at 5, 6, and 7. Okay, this is gonna be the biggest house. It's gonna be fantastic.
Yes.
All right?
Yes.
Okay, I have some questions about that just because well, exactly that. My ex is in rehab now and will be for another couple weeks, but he's looking for sober living stuff. So
It's actually that's a real good point. Some other people on here might could use that. If you get a hold of Angie, we'll find people a place to go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we got it.
Yep,
We got you.
Just get a hold of Angie and we'll take care of it.
okay, thank you.
All right. I don't think there's anyone else, Art.
Okay. All right.
Love some closing thoughts.
All right. I don't know.
Oh, wait, Janine Faulkner? Did you mean to unmute? Did you have something? I know you're new. I don't see your camera on, but would love to say hi. I know we're working on getting you scheduled for a consultation. I'm glad you're here. Maybe it was an accidental. There's no camera. All right, false alarm. But Janine, I look forward to meeting you for sure. Glad you're here. All right, Art, go ahead.
Well, I think that I just think that it's important that we reiterate what this is all about, and I think it's just a birthplace, and it's a birthplace for each family that comes on here, and every family on here has a representative. And right now, you're representing, everyone on here is probably representing a group of people. And, you know, it works the same way. People come on here and there's like levels to it. And the first thing is that hopefully you get to that first level. And the first level is that you find me interesting. And people say this guy is pretty interesting. And then the second level that people will generally get to is that I'm very interesting and I got some good things to say. And I know a lot of my loved ones need this. And so then they say, man, so-and-so in my life really needs to hear this message. Well, see, that's not it. Because the third level becomes, well, maybe I need this. And if you can get to that third level of maybe I need this, you might reach the fourth level, which is nobody in your life needs this other than you. And so the levels of this thing is, you know, interest in it, and that sparks it. And then it's really interest becomes, I'd like to get this information to everybody else so they change, so I'll be more happy. And that's kind of that there's a revelation there, and that you might think that if you could just get this information out to other people, then they would change, and then your insecurities and fears would go away. There's just a problem with that thinking, that if other people change, I'll be happy. And if you can get to that, if you can see that clearly, that it's not going to work. And you'll get to the third level of, I got to do this work. Because, and after you do this work, you will really realize that you become this kind of experiencer that can experience everything. And if you become an experiencer that can experience everything, you can sit with everything. And then nobody else needs to do the work, because the other people just become your practice. Like I said to Angela, that I want her to anticipate and catch when she feels insecure and she feels resistance. Well, how would she ever feel that if everybody changed and they were all doing great? And for me, the practice was being around a bunch of people that were more insecure and more scared than me. And then that used to hit in me when they were scared and initiate this resistance that would then make me want them to stop. But at some point I redirected that energy and began to use their fear as a practice for me. And I took the fear of families and the fear of everyone, and I ate it. And I said, dump it on me, and I will sit with it, and I will see why I'm scared. And when you do that, you become ultimately responsible for your upsets. And if you never want to be angry again, it's easy. You just don't have to be. You might accidentally, but if you don't want to spend your life in anger and you want to lower that duration of time that you're angry, then this is the way to do it. And to get rid of, because that's what's driving it. And so, but generally each one of us to experience more love has to do this work. So if you want more love and you're able to say to yourself, I get it, what he's talking about, and it might be true for me that all I want is people to love me. Well, then do this, and people will love you. But if you don't understand what you want, you're walking around blindfolded. What you're going to do is you're going to want other people to change, and it's not going to do anything. And so, getting to this third and fourth level of this thing and going, man, this work has to be initiated in me, which will then make me, first of all, be able to receive love. Second of all, be able to give love. And when I can get there, I can really help some people, or I can change the way the people around me live and the way that we're experiencing each other. But I can only do that if I own it fully for me. And if I say, this is about me, and I can get to that third level, this is about me, and then go home with the fourth level and figure out that you can probably love people no matter where they're at. They don't need to change anymore. And you don't have to worry about how they're acting because you're accountable for your insecurities and fears. And now you will be able to sit and be bigger and bigger and bigger as a human being. And I'm not saying, and by the way, that isn't me saying I'm big. That's me saying I've initiated the work and it's a lifetime for me. And I'm not always there. Most of the time I'm not. It's not easy. It's not something, but it is something I do or I couldn't talk about it. So if I need to, teach somebody how to drive a car, well, I would probably have to drive a car. And I'd be ridiculous if I never did and I was trying to teach it. If I wanted to tell you that ice cream was good, I would have to try it. And if I didn't try it, I would sound ridiculous. So the idea that I don't live this is a ridiculous notion. And I encourage all of you to initiate the work and spark it in your life. And we're here every week. And it's, once again, every week, it's an honor for me to live this way, and it's an honor for you guys to show up, and it's an honor for me to be able to talk. And so I thank you for the honor of being able to do it and to reach each one of you who's a representative for your family. But rather than a representative that's encouraging others to be there, let's just initiate the work together, and you can go back and maybe they won't even need it. And maybe you won't expect it from them. Maybe you will be able to give and receive love from your family. But once again, it starts with this idea that you're not experiencing it now. I mean, if you can honestly and openly tell me that you've got enough love right now, then don't do this. Just don't. Just say, I got it, Art. But if you're here and you're wanting something, I want you to understand that it's probably what you want is love, and you're probably covering up that that's what you want. You're probably saying you want other shit. And it's not going to work. So if you just get to the point where you can just acknowledge it, and be authentic with your own inauthenticity and quit covering up that love isn't what you're after. And just say it. This is what I'm after. I'm after more love. Okay, good. Do the work. Get rid of your insecurities. Only way it'll happen. More love. So once again, thank you for everyone. Again, it was an honor, and we'll see y'all next week.
Thanks so much. Thanks, Art. Thank you, everybody. We'll see you next week. Same link. Now that you're registered, you can just pop on easily next week. Have a good week, everybody.